Hi everybody, welcome back to the homestead. It is a gorgeous day today, nice and cool, a little bit breezy, and we've had some rain, but there's been a wonderful break from the rain. So we came back here to the woods where the scenery is so beautiful right now. The dogwoods are blooming, all of the leaves are coming out into the trees, and everything is just so lush and gorgeous. And we wanted to talk with you guys and be encouraging to you today and discuss some times where things just weren't going well for us and we just felt like giving up.
So the first time that comes to mind is when we were still living in the Phoenix area. We lived in just a regular, what I'll call homeowners neighborhood.
Like a cookie cutter neighborhood.
Yeah.
All the houses looked the same and they all had itty bitty backyards.
Right, there were like 3 styles of houses in the entire neighborhood. We owned one of the styles. And we just felt kind of trapped. We felt like there was really no way out from living in that type of an atmosphere. So we started to look for our first piece of property that would have a little more land, where we thought we'd be able to, raise some animals and have a garden and just really kind of chase after the dream that we felt like we had. But once we started looking at properties, we quickly realized that most of them, actually all of them, were way outside of our price range. And I'm not talking like we'd have to cut, stretch our budget in order to make it work. I'm talking like 3 or 4 times more than we could even think about spending. And it was really discouraging, and we really just felt like, we're just going to be trapped. We're just going to be in this house in our, neighborhood forever, and there's never going to be a way out.
And that truly was the first time that we thought, you know what, we should just give up on this dream. It's never going to happen for us. We can't afford to upgrade from a small property to a larger property, especially in the city. We did keep the hope alive and kept looking here and there, and all of a sudden a foreclosed property came on the market for way under what everything else was, honestly, because the entire thing was in shambles.
Right. We recently did a video where we actually showed you guys some of that property. That was our very first homestead, our urban homestead in the Phoenix area. It was run down. To say it was run down is actually making it seem nicer than it was. Our realtor actually told us to bulldoze it and just buy it for the land, which we couldn't afford to do, so we bought it the way it was and we rebuilt it, and it really turned into an awesome property. And it's really where we started our homesteading adventure. We really just kind of grew there, and had we just given up when it seemed like everything was stacked against us, we probably wouldn't be where we are today here living in Missouri.
After we moved on to that urban homestead and got a taste for the homesteading lifestyle, we knew that this is what we wanted to do as a next step in our lives. We decided we wanted to move across the country where there was more water and better land, more affordable, those kinds of things. We wanted to leave corporate America and figure out a way to make money homesteading rather than working in an office. And when we started talking to our friends, our family, our co-workers, it was very discouraging that no one could see our vision, and pretty much everybody thought we were absolutely crazy.
Yeah, we really felt at that point like, wow, if this many people are telling us it's a bad idea, maybe we need to reevaluate and maybe we should just stay where we're at. We kind of felt almost trapped, just like we did when we were in that first house, where we were like, well, maybe we're just being ungrateful. Maybe we should, be more grateful for what we already have and let the dream of a bigger property in the country die and just, stay where we're at. But there was something inside of us that just said, don't give up. Don't listen to all those people who are telling you, it's never going to work out. And so we really just took a huge leap of faith. We prayed about it for a long time, and we made the leap to Missouri, from Arizona to Missouri, and we are so glad that we did. And that was another time where we could have easily just listened to all of those other people around us and given up, and it just worked out for the best to follow what we really knew was the right thing for us.
So we left our jobs, we sold our place, we packed up our entire family, our house, our farm, and all of that stuff, and we moved to Missouri, and we were in our place, our new homestead in the country, and our first month was a nightmare.
So even though before we bought our place here in Missouri, we had an inspection done on our house, we had been out here several times to look at things ourselves, and it seemed like everything was in good shape. There were things that we just didn't plan for that made our first month here, first of all, really stinky. There were two things that happened. We bought our house about 3 months before we actually moved from Arizona. So the house sat vacant during those 3 months. Well, from the time that we bought it till the time that we actually moved in, no one was really looking after the place for us. And what had happened is that an animal had gotten down into the crawl space, and it was something pretty large. We never really did figure out what it was. Probably a raccoon or a possum or a skunk. After it was down in the crawl space, it somehow got trapped under there, and in its attempt to get back out, it tore all of the ductwork out from underneath our house. And then on top of that, it died under the house, and it stunk so bad. The problem was we really didn't smell it until the very first time we turned on the air conditioning in the house, and that smell just went everywhere. It went, because the ductwork was missing, it basically sucked that smell up from the crawl space and just blew it all over the house.
Well, we had the AC guy out too to help us figure out what was going on, and he's the one that discovered that all the ductwork and stuff had been completely torn up and had to be completely replaced, but he could not find the animal, and no matter what he did, and our crawl space is like 18 inches tall, you know, so you have to like crawl.
It's literally a crawl space.
I mean, it's not even a hands and knees, okay? It's like a shimmy with your belly on the ground, and he's like, you know what? You're just gonna have to wait until it
stops stinking.
Yeah, it just kind of goes away on its own, and that was a terrible experience.
Yeah.
Not only that, but there was another smell.
Yeah, so after we were here just a couple weeks, we realized that every morning when we would wake up, there was just a terrible smell coming from our laundry room, and we couldn't figure out what it was. And so we called a plumber because we kind of narrowed it down to, you know, one little area. Well, we figured out that when the house was built back in the 50s, nobody ever installed any plumbing vents in the house. So when the weather got really humid or colder and the air got heavier, all of the septic gas from the septic tank actually vented up through a floor drain in our laundry room, and all of that smell from the septic tank would come into the house, and it was terrible.
And it also happened to be like right next to our bedroom, so every morning for like 10 days we would be woken up by the smell of sewage.
Right, yeah, it was horrible.
We were so afraid that we had made the worst mistake of our lives. We had just sold our place in Phoenix, moved here, given up everything that we had known.
Right, we didn't know anybody here.
And it was so scary, and it was I think that was the closest we ever came to giving up, was right then.
Right. It just seemed like everything had been stacked against us at that point, and maybe these were signs that we had made a terrible mistake.
Well, on top of that, shortly after those two fiascos, the icing on the cake was we realized that we had termites in the house, even though during the inspection there was a termite inspection and they didn't find any evidence of termites. Well, that inspection happened to be in the winter when things are not active, and come spring or summer when we moved, we had termites on top of all of that.
Right, yeah. All three of those things happened within the first month of us being here, and it really seemed like at that point, well, maybe we should just, you know, walk away, maybe look for a different property. But in the long run, we had all of those things fixed. We just kind of persevered on. We said, no, we feel like this is where we're being called to be, and thank God that we stayed, because things have only gotten better since then, and we're so happy now with where we're at. So the next time that we felt like giving up, and not really giving up on homesteading, but giving up on one specific part of homesteading,
a major part,
was when our first garden here in Missouri really was pretty much a disaster. We had done the Back to Eden style gardening in Arizona, and it worked great. So we assumed we'd come out here to Missouri and that it would work great here as well. Well, we put in our first Back to Eden garden the first year we were here. We layered the garden with cardboard and straw and manure and straw and wood chips, and we mulched the whole thing, and we let it sit. Actually, we let it sit over the first winter so that when summer came, we were ready to plant. And it looked so great. There was nothing coming up through the cardboard, nothing coming up through the wood chips. We planted our entire garden, and within just a few weeks of planting, weeds started to come up. And I'm not talking about a few weeds. I'm talking about like huge weeds. Part of our, like one whole corner of the garden was covered in poison ivy. One whole section was big blackberry shoots coming up right through. I mean, it was just...
And trumpet vine everywhere.
Yes.
It was terrible. And you know, all the other weeds were like waist high. We couldn't keep up with them. Missouri grows like super weeds on steroids, regardless of what you put down, we thought.
Right.
But it was a complete disaster, and we were completely discouraged, and we were almost ready to just completely give up on gardening altogether on the homestead.
Yeah, we'd actually had a conversation about maybe we should just focus on raising animals, and maybe gardening just wasn't going to be for us.
Right.
But again, just like everything else, we just kind of prayed about it. We really felt like we had been called to come out here and live this lifestyle. And that is when we discovered the woven ground cover that we're using today, which has made gardening so much more enjoyable.
It has been a godsend.
Yeah, it has made our garden so much more productive because our plants are no longer competing with all of those weeds, and it just really opened us up to a new way of gardening that is so much better than anything we had ever done before.
And so enjoyable. When
Right.
you can go into the garden, you don't have to worry or really hate the thought of going out there and spending hours and hours picking weeds in the hot sun.
Right.
It really was an amazing godsend to discover that woven weed fabric.
Right.
And the last thing that we wanted to talk with you guys about when we felt like just giving up was when we started this YouTube adventure. When we first started putting out videos and nobody watched them, we just felt like giving up on YouTube.
Yeah, we really were discouraged because we had, you know, in our minds that, hey, we'd put out a video. I think our first one was about building our chicken run, and we thought it was a great video. We put it out there, and I remember we uploaded it. We were so excited. We thought, sure, you know, thousands of people would watch it right away. And I think the first day, we were the only people who watched it.
Absolutely.
Maybe my mom, because I called her and told her to watch it.
And I think maybe our other relatives that we begged to watch it.
Right. So that was another time where we just really felt like, gosh, maybe this part of homesteading isn't going to be for us. Maybe nobody really cares about what we have to share. But again, we took some time, we really thought about it, we prayed,
and we got some encouragement from some fellow YouTubers in
Right.
the homesteading genre that really gave us some really good advice to just keep at it.
Right.
Do lots of videos. That's when we decided to do them 5 days a week and just keep at it. And there were a couple people that noticed that the content that we were putting out was good. We just needed to be consistent and just get it out there. And ultimately, Kevin and I have a heart for teaching, and we've learned a lot along the way, and we just really enjoy showing people what we do on our homestead, helping them learn how to do it on their homestead. And we've just used that to just persevere through bringing videos out to you all.
Right, yeah, we've gained so much from you guys. We learned so much back. We love sharing what we learn. We love reading your comments and learning even more from you. And we're so glad that we stuck with it. We've met some amazing people.
We continue to meet amazing people.
Right, every week we're meeting more and more of you guys personally who watch us, and we enjoy that so much. You have no idea how much that means to us. And then kind of the topping on the cake is that today we went out to our mailbox and let me show you what we got. So we went out to the mailbox today and we've got this box in the mail from YouTube, and we wanted to show you guys what was in here. So in the mail today, we received our silver play button, which is an award from YouTube. It's got our name and everything on it, and it's a congratulations from YouTube for hitting 100,000 subscribers. So that was really cool. It's nice to know that people appreciate what we're doing just as much as we appreciate all of the great comments that we get. It's all of you who keep us going every day that are encouraging to us so that we can be encouraging to others.
So overall, the main reasons why we never gave up, one of them is because the doubt we felt from other people in our lives and that kind of thing actually gave us more determination and more motivation to work hard and to succeed, because deep down inside we knew that this is what we needed to be doing with our lives, and we wanted to show people that we could do it.
Yeah, we felt all along like we needed to set an example and show other people that there is another way of living, that you don't need to be caught up in that rat race, to be so busy that you miss out on your kids growing up, that you miss out on your marriage, that you just miss out on life in general. So we really knew that this is what we were supposed to be doing. Of course, anything you do in life that is a big risk or a big challenge is going to cause some doubt in you. What you need to do is listen to that little voice inside of you and listen to God and just persevere through and really keep going toward the goal that you originally had. So you guys, I hope that this video will be encouraging to you. I hope that you'll understand more about who we are, and that, you know, we show you a lot on YouTube, and maybe a lot of times it seems like everything is always going in our favor. We wanted to let you know that just like everybody in life, we have times when things don't work out, or at least they don't work out the way we had planned. But if you just keep pushing through, you can accomplish some amazing things.
You guys, we want to hear about times that you have felt like giving up, but you were able to persevere and turn things around. We want to hear about those times and share that with other people. Also, if you'll share this video with other people that you know who may have felt like giving up, or maybe they're feeling like giving up right now, maybe this can be an encouragement to them as well.
So if you're not a subscriber to our channel yet, we hope that you'll hit that subscribe button before you leave. Like Sarah said, go ahead and share this video if you know someone who could benefit from it. And until next time, thank you so much for stopping by the homestead. Take care, and God bless.
God bless.